What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day and happy Valentine's Day. Make sure you guys take care of the ladies. I went out and I got, my wife is like, she's like, don't get flowers. I went out and I got my wife some plants. So, she loves plants and things. You see all the plants and stuff that's in here. So the plants last longer than the flowers. Roses will last about a week. The plants will last longer. And I got a nice flower pot or window box to put in. I got rosemary and thyme and basil and stuff, really aromatic plants to go in the window. And she loves it. She's like, it's so beautiful. That, and we'll make some finger food, some crab dip and some crackers and some fruits and all that stuff. And, spend some time together because that's what you're supposed to do for Valentine's Day. Find out what your woman likes for Valentine's Day and make sure you do plenty of it. Be that as it may, I am truth in advertising here. Everybody has their kind of niche and thing that they do on YouTube. For me, I am the update guy. I am the breaking news guy. I am the da-da-dun, da-da-dun, kind of like the ESPN, what it used to be. Bringing you when the Cowboys do something, somebody gets signed or arrested or Jerry Jones to start talking about some glory holes or something. That's me. I am not the great draft guru guy and things like that, although I do want to start doing some more. And I'm actually interested in finding somebody who may want to work with me, that might want to be an apprentice with the Joe Boo Sports Report and things. I'm taking a cue from Mr. Beast on growing and trying to do something else, as well as help somebody else who is working on starting a channel and helping them grow, because it's about giving back. Be that as it may, I was looking at something here because the mock drafts all have the Dallas Cowboys taking Jeanty, right? Oh my God, the Cowboys, they need a running back. Jeanty's the guy for them, and they should take him at 12. It's a marriage made in hell. Heaven, Floridian slip. Marriage made in heaven. And then we have, of course, listening to Emmitt Smith, who's saying the Cowboys, they don't really know what they're going to do. They don't have an identity. And people talk about, of course, like when the Cowboys drafted Zeke Elliott, how well that worked. But then they also point out that, we had a great offensive line there. And so getting a great running back without an offensive line, he'll be better than an average running back, but you may be wasting him. In my mind, and understanding that we have so many needs that I don't know that he is the guy. Now, of course, the experts will say this draft is loaded with running backs. The funny thing is the experts say a lot of things. The experts said Trey Lance is going to be a great quarterback, but that wasn't necessarily right. And being a great player doesn't necessarily translate to being a great player on the field for your team and your situation. Although some people will say, Jeanty is probably, the best running back and the closest thing to Saquon. Well, I was looking a bit because things that I think about with the Cowboys. When the Cowboys, for example, have moved up in the draft to get Morris Claiborne, the glass man, they spent a first and second round to jump up and get him. So I've been beat up with that one, and I don't believe in trading up in the first round. I think it costs you too much because ideally anybody else, first and second round pick, is usually two really good players. Usually the Cowboys get one really good one in the first. The second one's kind of a throwaway. So maybe it wasn't so bad after all. But what's worked for the Cowboys in the past is actually trading back. And so I was going through, because I am not the draft guy. And let me show you what I was looking at. So this is an article. This is an article here, NFL.com. Let me get my cursor over here. NFL.com by Chad Roeder. And this is about NFL draft order, first round, for round one, top needs for all 32 teams. So this is one person's analysis of what teams need. Now, I'll be honest again. I deal with the Cowboys, and we got a lot of needs that we have. But let's go through this list, because what it says to me with Jeanty is draft team at 12, maybe not the best thing for the Cowboys to do. So we go with the Tennessee Titans. Number one thing: quarterback, wide receiver, edge, offensive tackle, safety. Okay, no running back there. Cleveland Browns, number one, edge rushers. Okay, especially if Myles Garrett goes. Quarterback, offensive tackle, wide receiver, running back. Running back is at the very end of the number 2 pick. They're not going to take Jeanty there. New York Giants, quarterback, offensive tackle, offensive guard, cornerback, safety. No running back there. So far we only have the Cleveland Browns. New England, offensive tackle, wide receiver, edge rusher, cornerback, inside linebacker. Jacksonville, unless they trade Trevor Lawrence, cornerback, safety, inside linebacker, wide receiver, quarterback. Raiders, quarterback, wide receiver, running back at third. Cornerback, defensive tackle. So right now we've got 2 teams that would be in the market for a running back, but middle towards the end. Jets, quarterback, defensive tackle, offensive tackle, safety, cornerback. Carolina, edge, defensive tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, quarterback. New Orleans, edge, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, defensive tackle. Bears, the Bears, offensive guard, center, offensive tackle, edge, wide receiver. San Francisco, cornerback, D tackle, edge, linebacker, offensive guard. And of course, Dallas Cowboys. Oh shit! Oh shit! Biggest need: running back, offensive guard, D tackle, cornerback, linebacker. So we looked at the Raiders, which they had at number 3 need is running back. Quarterback is definitely more needed. And Cleveland Browns being the 5th need by this person's perspective. So that says that Jeanty should be there when the Cowboys draft at 12. Okay, so my premise is all right, if he hasn't been drafted by 12 and we're there, could the Cowboys trade back and still get their guy and get something else? Think about Micah Parsons. We traded back and we got ghosted. Think about Travis Frederick. We traded back. We picked up a 3rd-round pick and got Terrence Williams. So, Miami Dolphins, safety, D tackle, offensive guard, linebacker, quarterback. Okay. Colts, inside linebacker, tight end, cornerback, linebacker, safety. Atlanta Falcon, edge, safety, cornerback, center, wide receiver. Arizona Cardinals, edge, defensive tackle, wide receiver, offensive guard, offensive tackle. Cincinnati Bengals, wide receiver, tight end, offensive tackle, cornerback, offensive guard. Seattle, offensive guard, quarterback, linebacker, D tackle, offensive tackle. Tampa Bay, wide receiver, offensive guard, linebacker, edge, offensive tackle. Denver Broncos, tight end, wide receiver, linebacker, safety, D tackle. Jeez. Steelers, quarterback, cornerback, running back, wide receiver, offensive tackle. So in the top 21 picks, we've got the Cowboys having the number 1 need at running back, Steelers need at number 3, and way before you've got Cleveland with their 5th need and the 3rd need for the Raiders. So my thought would be here is, unless one of these other teams really want to jump, and I don't know that somebody is going to jump more, from 22 on or 21 all the way down to 12 to take Jeanty, you may be able to trade back 3 or 4 spots, get him, and get some more capital. Because we have some needs. Now, unfortunately, we don't have that 4th-round draft pick. And I would hope that you'd be able to get more than a 4th-round pick by moving back. But even if, let's continue this game. You've got the Chargers, ed, D tackle, center, safety, tight end. You've got the Packers, cornerback, edge, D tackle, center, wide receiver. You've got Minnesota, finally, but again, middle of the pack, cornerback, D tackle, running back, offensive guard, safety. Texans, wide receiver, offensive guards, D tackle, cornerback, offensive tackle. Rams, offensive tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, linebacker, tight end. Ravens, offensive tackle, wide receiver, edge, offensive guard, safety. Lions, they definitely don't need to. Washington doesn't need to. Buffalo doesn't need to. So, my premise being here and getting all the way through all this stuff is if nobody else is looking to take that running back in a running back heavy draft, it may behoove you to move back. This might be the perfect scenario that if it is, Jeanty is your target and you want to move back, and if you're really reading the tea leaves of what people need, you might be able to move back 6 or 7 spaces and maybe get a third or a second round pick to go there for somebody to move it up for somebody that they really, really covet. And if you don't, there's still, if you're still sitting there in the top 18, there still should be an impact player that you can draft along with getting the extra compensation. You know, the Cowboys, as much as we like to dream and think that the Cowboys are going to do big things, well, the reality is the Cowboys don't. More than likely, they'll do the same stupid shit where we believe in our own guys and we're just going to draft our way out of it. So we're going to have to try and figure out how to maximize everything we do. We're going to need to be shrewd drafting, and we're going to need to create some extra picks and hopefully some great players to plug and play. If you can get Jeanty and get an extra pick, by all means, grab him. Grab him, because we've got work to do. Alrighty, good people. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and have a happy Valentine's Day. Peace.